Day. We are looking at next currencies outlook for next week. This is an outlook. We're not doing history documents or graphs until the end of day, the 14th of August. And this week we're looking at episode 3 of the yen intervention, which in my view is unraveling fast. So let's look at it. First of all, that is where they got the yen, the end of July. This is a daily graph. So uh, this was as far as I remember, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the end of July. And then uh, as from August, the yen has been weakening again. It has been pointed out that the yen has very little to offer to global capital. Very low yields, and also uh, a, a, a topics share price index which are which is sitting at resistance that I've shown in the past videos. But nevertheless, let's look at it from the point of the currency speculators, which were drawn in by a sideshow by Treasury Secretary Besant's notepad, uh, which allowed a photo to be taken on his notepad, which said buy yen. So obviously people would be speculators, and of course they would be huge speculators, were drawn into this. But if they have sold the dollar and got 164 yen, bought the dollar back, 157 yen over there, they would have made 7 yen or 4.5 cents per dollar, 4.5%. Now, 2 weeks later, the situation is that we are at 159.3 yen. So the profit has dropped from 7 yen to 4.7 yen. That is 0.03 cents on the initial dollar outlay, and the profit has dropped from 4.5 to 3%. So the point I want to make is that logically, when a speculator that was drawn into this by the photo of Treasury Secretary's President's notepad will be taking profit, and I won't be surprised if very soon we would find the yen at 161 yen, that important support which can now turn into resistance. So what will be the effect? 2 weeks ago, that was the effect on the dollar, really weakening in the space of 2 days. It was significant from below one, stronger than 114 to above 115. It has been sitting tight there. And I'm speculating that this sudden yen weakness draw central banks into the game, and they were diversifying out of a weaker dollar into gold, which we will be looking at right now. But to finish off the dollar sitting tight in a support range, 115 to 116. I would only call the dollar weak at weaker than 117, but the dollar's been sitting tight there in between 115 and 116. And so above 16 would be a weak dollar, especially if it goes above 117. It could also go back below, stronger than 150 to 140. So we are in neutral area for the dollar, sitting right in the center of a support zone. But if you look at the Swiss against the dollar, the Swiss is actually declining again, going up, more Swiss for the dollar, weakening. So that in itself tells me that we would probably see a dollar strengthening in other words, attacking 115 again, based on the Swiss not going down. That would be runaway strength of the Swiss. In fact, 2 weeks ago, the Swiss hardly moved from previous trading ranges. This is a weekly graph. But more important, I sense the US dollar index to be sitting at support. That was the dollar weakness against the euro, sitting at support, and we might well see the US dollar index going up, in other words, the dollar strengthening and going up above the psychological 100 points for the US dollar. That brings me to gold. A week ago, I've referred to this graph from Marissa Salem of the World Gold Council, clearly showing that throughout 2025, we saw net purchases, central bank purchases of gold, which was, in my view, directly responsible for the rise in gold. And by January 2026, over there, net purchases has been declining. But this is a point where speculators took over, and we had this in the day of enormous change in the price. This is a weekly graph, but there was a day when gold dropped $800 from high to low because of speculators getting into the game and overplaying their hands. So the question is, do we have speculators? I'm saying no. Whenever we have speculators into the game, we would see Bitcoin normally also rising, and Bitcoin actually dropped below $64 resistance last week. Also, the bottom border of this trend channel of gold is now functioning as a resistance level. Also, there is 4,400, a strong resistance level, and it seems that gold is not able to go through $4,400. That in itself explains the reason why the dollar index is sitting at support and should be, my view, be going up next week above 100 points. So I'm saying speculators are not in. This would turn out, obviously, the World Gold Council does not have this up to date, but I think this would turn out to be some net buy by central banks. We also know that there was an opinion that the dollar would stay weak because of the reluctance to raise interest rates. I'll be coming to that again. So what happened? Gold went up. Emerging market currencies, as the index of emerging market currencies, quite closely correlated to movements of gold. Emerging market currencies, all of them strengthening tremendously on the back of gold. But now we've seen gold actually petering out. What you see there is what you see there. And the index of emerging market currencies has already started to fall, although we are not seeing that with the rand. Another thing coming to the rand is that there is no capital inflows into our treasuries. This is the South African 10-year benchmark on the left-hand scale, actually increasing, meaning our treasuries are being sold off, and the percentage yield increases. So I can only say that we have a situation there where global capital flows do not support a rand this strong, and therefore my logical conclusion is the rand to weaken back up to here 1650 from 1670, which is 1650, in my view, quite neutral ground for the ZAR. Also, the South African and US yield spread is smaller than 3.9%, and that in itself is a story on its own, but that indicates a weaker ZAR as we at 3.9%, it is way below the spread, way smaller than the historical capacity that the market the international market can absorb. So everything points to weaker ZAR. Also keep in mind that US yield spreads, the US yields are continuously rising as they strive for positive real interest rates after the reluctance of, or the clear reluctance of the Fed to raise interest rates. So the most logical conclusion, as was the case last week, is the ZAR totally overdone. I think it's going back to neutral ground, 1650 over there. So in summary, after the USD's extraordinary decline Tuesday and Friday, that is 30 and 31st of July, the result of market intervention by the Bank of Japan, the question remains how long will it hold, given the fact that currency speculators who were purposefully drawn into the action will have to take profit, which is already down from 4.5% to 3%. On Wednesday and Friday of the week ending 5 August, an extraordinary bullish move on gold occurred, in my view, primarily attributed to central banks diversifying out of a rapidly weakening US dollar into gold. The move, however, seems to have stalled at important 4,400 resistance, with indications of a generally stronger US dollar to come. Swiss weakness and the USD index and supports this view of a generally stronger US dollar to come. The bullish move in gold of 2 weeks ago had a bullish spin-off in emerging market currencies, and normally the ZAR is at the forefront of this, still leading to the conclusion that the ZAR at 1670 is overdone and should correct back to around 1650, which is neutral ground. It was also shown that no global capital is flowing into South African treasuries, supporting the case for a weaker ZAR. This is an outlook. Obviously, outlooks will be wrong. This outlook is nullified when the US dollar weakens to 117 per euro. Keep in mind, this is an outlook for currencies, not for any other financial instrument, and please note the disclaimers until we talk again.